The city of Mumbai never slept. It burned, in lights, in ambition, and in blood. Rain hissed on neon boards flashing Netflix and Prime Video, each promising something more dangerous than the last. By 2025, Hindi cinema had changed. Gone were the songs and dances that once painted romance on silver screens. Now, brutality ruled the charts, stories soaked in violence, betrayal, and revenge. And tonight, one man was going to expose them all. His name was Arjun Rao, a former stuntman turned underground filmmaker, living in a cramped apartment above a fading cinema hall in Andheri. His hands still shook from the years of falls and fights he'd choreographed, but his mind was sharper than ever. He was working on something no one had dared before, a documentary about the 10 most brutal Hindi action films that had turned 2025 into the bloodiest year in streaming history. But what no one knew, not yet, was that every movie on his list was somehow connected to a real-life crime. He called it, The Brutal 10. The film that started it all. A dusty revenge saga set in the Rajasthan desert, where a soldier hunted the men who buried his unit alive. The director, Karan Mehta, was found dead 2 months after its release, throat slit, camera missing. Police called it a fan crime. Arjun had once doubled for the villain in that movie. He still remembered the real blood that splattered when one of the fake blades, accidentally, sliced an actor's neck. The rumor was that Karan wanted realism, and realism had killed him. When Arjun rewatched Red Sand that night, he noticed something chilling. In one scene, the camera panned past a sand dune with strange carvings. When he enhanced the frame, 3 letters stood out. ARJ, his initials, a sleek, high-octane crime saga about an Indian arms cartel operating out of Dubai. Critics hailed it as India's John Wick meets Narcos. But no one knew it was funded by a real cartel. Arjun's friend, producer Samir Gulati, had vanished during post-production. His name appeared only once, buried in the credits, replaced by executive consultant X. When Arjun tracked the production logs, the listed IP addresses led to offshore accounts in the Cayman Islands, and a chilling message on his screen. Stop digging, or you'll be next. A neo-noir set in Delhi's underworld, directed by the reclusive genius Zara Khan. The movie was infamous for its torture scenes, a gang using piano wire on their rivals. Arjun knew those techniques too well. They weren't movie tricks, they came from police interrogation manuals leaked during the riots of 2023. When he met Zara in a rain-soaked cafe in Bandra, she looked haunted. It's not fiction, Arjun, she whispered. We just filmed what was already happening. They wanted it that way. Who's they? He asked. She glanced at the corner mirror. Netflix legal team never approved my version. What you saw online isn't the one I made. It's their cut, their message. Within a week, Zara disappeared. This one exploded across the internet, a gritty Mumbai vigilante story that turned actor Dev Suri into a cult hero. But the stunts looked too real. Every fight, every bone crack, too authentic for CGI. When Arjun dug into the shoot footage, he found something horrifying. The film had been shot using ex-gangsters as extras, people on parole, paid in cash. 2 of them had gone missing. Rumors said they weren't extras at all. They were targets, a political thriller set against India's border conflicts, directed by an ex-army officer. It was banned in 3 states after its release for extreme violence. But what caught Arjun's attention wasn't the gore, it was the accuracy. The weapon blueprints shown in the movie matched classified designs leaked from DRDO. He met an editor who'd worked on the film. The footage wasn't from a set, the editor confessed. Those were real drone strikes. Real casualties. Someone slipped classified war footage into the reels. That editor died in a car crash 2 days later. By now, Arjun's list had become more than research, it was an obsession. This movie, however, broke him. It was a dystopian future set in 2030, showing a militarized India under corporate control. Brutal, unflinching, prophetic. But here's the twist, it hadn't been released yet. He found a pre-release link in an encrypted email signed only, the director. The film showed a future where streaming giants had replaced governments, where Netflix Core and Prime Global owned the police and the press. Cities were content zones, and citizens lived or died based on viewership metrics. At the end of the film, there was a scene, a man filming himself surrounded by flames, whispering, "Greater than, Arjun Rao will expose us all." He dropped his coffee. A psychological action horror, about a stuntman who discovers his violent movie roles are rewiring his mind, turning fiction into reality. The lead actor looked just like him. Same scars, same eyes, same walk, but he'd never shot it. When he checked the credits, the motion capture performer was listed as A. Rao. Deepfake tech had advanced, but this was something else. They weren't just cloning faces, they were cloning memories. He smashed his laptop screen that night, but the reflection staring back at him in the broken glass was grinning, even though he wasn't. A low-budget indie film that became a viral sensation for its unflinching brutality, the story of a meat seller who turned serial killer after a corporate cover-up ruined his family. The violence was sickeningly real. Critics called it method acting beyond sanity. Arjun tracked down the cinematographer, who confessed that none of the victims were actors. They gave us real footage, Arjun, he said, trembling. The police said it was fake, but I shot none of it. I just color-corrected the bodies. Arjun vomited for the first time in years. A futuristic gang war film, shot in a desolate industrial zone outside Pune. The production company didn't exist on paper. The set, Arjun discovered, was built over an abandoned chemical plant, one that had been the site of a mass poisoning decades ago. He went there himself. The ground still smelled of iron and rot. The graffiti on the walls read, "We are the movies, you are the audience." He felt something shift behind him, a camera click. But when he turned, no one was there. 10. The final cut, Prime Video. The 10th film didn't exist anywhere online. No trailers, no listings, yet it appeared in encrypted recommendations whenever Arjun logged into his account. The thumbnail was a red camera lens. He clicked it once, and the movie began. The first scene showed him sitting at his desk, typing notes for his documentary. The second showed him leaving his apartment, heading to meet a contact. The third, his body lying on the road, blood pooling beneath the camera. He froze. The timestamp on the footage was tomorrow. He didn't sleep that night. Every screen in his apartment blinked with static and whispers. Watch till the end, Arjun. The audience deserves closure. By dawn, he packed his camera, hard drives, and left for his old theater below. If they were going to make him the final act, he would direct it himself. He set up his lens facing the empty seats. "My name is Arjun Rao," he began. "You've been watching movies about murder, but the real story is who's watching you. Every brutal scene you streamed, every scream you replayed, it wasn't fiction. It was fuel." He uploaded the footage live on both platforms. Within minutes, millions tuned in. The comments exploded. Viral genius, marketing stunt, scripted documentary. Then, midway through his monologue, the lights flickered. The screen behind him played clips from all 10 films, blood, fire, faces, and in between them, corporate logos. Netflix. Prime Video. AR Productions. His camera feed cut to static. The next day, every major outlet reported his death as an on-set accident. His video was scrubbed from the internet. But deep in the code of both streaming platforms, a secret playlist appeared. One not visible to the public. Its title: Top 10 Highly Brutal Action Movies in Hindi, 2025. Viewers who stumbled on it said it auto-played on its own, no matter what they tried. And when it did, the final scene was always the same. Arjun Rao staring into the lens, whispering, "Greater than, now you're part of the story."